we got a couple of trades to announce. Kent Hughes has been very, very busy. In fact, every time I try and post a video, the guy keeps chucking out more trades.
The hockey junkie?
Oh, stop it. Trade number 1, the Montreal Canadiens have sent Bret Kulak to the Edmonton Oilers in exchange for defenseman William Lehkonen and a second-round draft pick. Trade number 2, Arturri Lehkonen has been shipped out to the Colorado Avalanche in exchange for his second-round draft pick in 2024 and Colorado's first-round draft pick of 2020. Yeah, no big deal. Justin Barron. Bam! I love that one. And trade number 3, because what? Everything good happens in trees. What have I taught you? The Canadiens send Andrew Hammond to the New Jersey Devils in exchange for Nate Schnarr. Schnarr. Now, so what we're going to do here, I'm going to break down all of these trades one by one, going from what I consider the smallest trade to the biggest trade. This is probably going to be a bit of a lengthy video, possibly the longest one that I've ever done. And first on the list, we're going to look no further than our little Hamburgular Andrew Hammond, who finally gets himself a set of new pads to match the Canadiens' colors. And a couple hours later, yeah, sorry bud, put him back on eBay, you're out of here. Andrew Hammond is shipped off to the New Jersey Devils in exchange for Nate Schnarr. Now, you're probably wondering who the hell is Nate Schnarr? He's a 2017 third-round draft pick of the Arizona Coyotes. He's 23 years old, spends his time in the AHL. He's got 13 goals and 13 assists this year. He's a fairly big centerman. And at first glance of his picture here, he looks like a little bit of a maniac, does he not? He's cynical. But hey, that's fine. He's our maniac, and he's going to be a big part of Laval's run this year. Now, if you're wondering why Andrew Hammond had to be moved in the first place, I mean, somebody had to go. Carey Price is getting close to returning. Jake Allen is already back. You can kick over a trash can at the Bell Center right now, and goalies just scatter everywhere. We got a lot of them in the system. I wish Hammond all the best, but let's move on to trade number 2. This trade has been brought to you by Frank Saravalli, who was the first guy on the trade, breaking the deal. But the problem was he only broke half the deal, alright? He said Kulak was going to Edmonton, and then we wouldn't hear another thing about it for like an hour later. It was driving me insane. This trade kind of gave me carpal tunnel syndrome just from clicking the refresh button on twitter.com. And Frank, if you're listening, you're lucky, man, because I almost ordered a bunch of pizzas and had them delivered to your house just so you'd have to pay for them. But anyway, fast forward an hour, and thankfully Bobby Margarita, our very own version of Bobby the Brain Heenan, he came to the rescue and provided the details that none of the other silly goofs could muster up. So here's what we got. As of right now, at the time of recording this video, it's Bret Kulak of the Montreal Canadiens headed to the Edmonton Oilers for William Lehkonen and the second-round draft pick. Now, I don't really know what year this pick is, but I'm assuming it's a 2023 pick because of the Duncan Keith deal. So breaking this one down a little further, let's take a look at what the Canadiens are giving up here. If you're an Oilers fan, you're getting a very reliable defenseman. This guy knows his role. You can sit him out. You can slap him across the face. He's not going to complain. You don't even have to feed this guy. You can play him every game, and he's going to give you an honest, hard-working game every time. He plays sound defensive hockey at his own end of the rink. He's a great skater. He scored a pretty goal the other night, huh? Check it out. And Kulak is just one of these guys that continues to go under the radar. You kind of take him for granted, you know? He's undervalued by fans, but he's not a bad player at all. 28-year-old Kulak is making $1.85 million this year, and right when the season ends, he becomes a UFA, which means if you don't like him, you don't have to keep him. He's not coming with a bunch of baggage. So far this year, statistically, he's got 3 goals and 10 assists, giving him 13 points in 56 games. He's no doubt the best player involved in this package. Sorry, Mr. Lego, or whatever your new nickname is. I've also got Kulak's advanced statistics here, so for those of you advanced statistic nerds out there that want to take a peekaboo at some of these, go right ahead and knock yourself out. Now, it's also worth pointing out that Edmonton is actually Kulak's hometown, so it's kind of a nice story. He's going back home, and honestly, he's probably excited right now, which is a good thing. Now moving on to the package that the Canadiens received from the Oilers in exchange. The biggest piece of all here is this second round draft pick, okay? Forget about Lego for a second, put him on the back burner. The second round draft pick is wicked. A couple of days ago on TSN 690, they were valuing Kulak at like a 4th round pick. I felt like smacking one of these guys up to the back of the head, but I didn't. Okay, I kept my cool. And then Kent Hughes turns around today and he manages to get a 2nd round draft pick, which is a big dub for Bret Kulak on its own. But anyway, Mr. William Lehkonen, show yourself, okay? We'll bring you in here for a second and I'll hype you up the best I can, okay there, bud? He's a body, okay? He's gonna fill a roster spot. He's 26 years old, which means he's the younger of the two. He stands at 6'2". He's 207 pounds of Swedish muscle. The only highlight I've got of him right now is back when he dropped the gloves with Josh Anderson last year. Yeah, remember that? I mean, he might have lost the fight, but at least he had the balls to drop the gloves anyway. I'd show you a highlight of a goal, but we've got one little problem. He hasn't scored a goal yet in the NHL, so don't expect him to wow you with offense. He's not William Orr. He is what he is. He's a warm body right now in a Habs suit, so let's see what he becomes. He also managed to get his gloves off with Tim Stützle at one point. Look at that. He did a little better with Stützle. I mean, come on. My kids can beat up Stützle. Lehkonen, though, he doesn't really look like he knows what he's at. Just about George Parros himself off the ice here on the way down. Ugh, scary stuff. So all in all, I think this was a good deal for our Canadiens. They're kind of rebuilding, I guess you can say. They get a 2nd round draft pick for Bret Kulak and also a young defenseman in return. While on the other end of the stick, the Oilers are getting a good deal as well because they bring back a valuable rental defenseman in Bret Kulak, who's going home, and I think this is a guy that the Oilers are possibly going to try and extend. Anyway, moving on to the meat and veg of this video. My favorite trade of all. The Canadiens sent Arturri, okay? Arturri is gone to the Colorado Avalanche, who are clearly all in at this point. 50% of his salary is retained, and because of this, the Canadiens are getting back Colorado's 2020 first round draft pick offensive defenseman Justin Barron. He's a beauty! And they also get a 2024 2nd round draft pick. Well, because why not? Stock the shelves for the future. Oh, now, I know this is going to be a tough one because everybody's going to be upset that Arturri Lehkonen is gone. But look, he had a good run here, okay? Everybody liked him. Well, most people. He was a good forward, a wicked bottom 6 forward, might I add. You could put him anywhere in the lineup, though. He was reliable. He was defensively responsible. He was Arturri. But listen, you got to understand, the stock has never been higher on this guy as it is right now. Honestly, it's too bad the Habs didn't, trade Yoel Armia back when his stock was high too. This is Lehkonen's contract year. I'm guessing Colorado pushed hard. And I'm kinda shocked that they did actually part ways with Justin Barron. But holy shit, I'm pumped. And you should be pumped too. Welcome to the Habs. This guy is 6'2", 195 pounds. He's a good puck-moving defenseman. He's a wicked skater. He's got 20 points in 43 games in the AHL for the Colorado Eagles this year. And from what I've been hearing, the Avalanche were high on this guy. And I'm talking high. They expected him to be a part of the top 4 in the future. And right now in Habland, take a look at the defenseman in the system. The young defenseman. Jeez. Not too bad at all. What a day. It's a lot to take in because, well, it's a lot of moves. As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. How do you think that Kent Hughes did? Judge him. Are you happy with the moves that he made? As for me, I'm satisfied. I'm happy. One thing you can't deny is that the team is just getting younger and younger and younger. All the draft picks and prospects are welcome with open arms. That does it for this video. See you next time.